Today we're going to do lesson 7.1, which is on page 421 in your math workbooks. This is finding part of a group. Okay, so you have a group, you have a certain number, and you want to find a fraction of that number. So if we look at unlocking the problem here, Maya collects stamps. She has 20 stamps in her collection. 4/5 of her stamps have been canceled. How many of the stamps in Maya's collection have been canceled? So we want to find 4/5 of 20. There's 20 stamps. The fraction of that we want to find is 4/5. So we're going to put 20 counters on our math board. And since you want to find 4/5 of the stamps, you should arrange the 20 counters, or a counter for each stamp, in blank equal groups. Well, we're dealing in fifths, so we want to put 5 groups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so each group is going to represent a fifth of her collection. Okay, so 5 groups. Now, if we have 5 groups and there's 20 total, that tells us that there should be 4 stamps in each group. Okay, because 5 times 4 gives us our 20. Or if we have 20 and we divide it by 5, we get 4 in each group. So we're going to draw 4 in each group. Okay, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times 4 is 20. Okay, now remember, each group represents 1/5 of her collection. So each group represents 1/5 of the stamps, and we're going to circle 4/5 of the counters. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1/5, 2/5, 3/5, 4/5. How many groups did you circle? We circled 4 groups. How many counters did you circle? Well, if there's 4 groups of 4, that's 4 times 4 is 16. So we circled 16 counters. So 4/5 of 20 equals 16. Or 4/5 times 20 is 16. Now, if you work a multiplication problem of fractions, if you multiply fractions, remember, to make a whole number a fraction, all you do is put it over top of 1, and that's your fraction for a whole number. So if you multiply these, 4 times 20 is 80, 5 times 1. Remember, when you multiply fractions, you just go straight across. Numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator. You get 80/5. And we know how to change an improper fraction to a mixed number. You divide the top by the bottom, and 80 divided by 5 is 16. Okay. Now, another easier way to do this is to, if we're finding 4/5 of 20, we can divide our whole number by our denominator. 20 divided by 5 is 4, and then multiply that by our numerator. So 20 divided by 5 is 4, times 4 is 16. Okay, so blank of the stamps have been canceled. So 16 of the stamps have been canceled. 4/5 of 20 is 16. All right, let's go to page 422. We have another example here of stamps. Max's stamp collection has stamps from different countries. He has 12 stamps from Canada. Of those 12, 2/3 of them have pictures of Queen Elizabeth II. How many stamps have the Queen on them? Draw an array to represent the 12 stamps by drawing an X for each stamp. Since you want to find 2/3 of the stamps, your array should show 3 rows, because remember, each row is going to be 1/3 of the stamps. So we're going to have 3 rows with an equal number of X's. So if we have a total of 12 and there's 3 rows, then each row is going to have 4, because we know 3 times 4, a 3 by 4 array equals 12. So there'll be 4 stamps in each row. Okay. Now remember, we want to find 2/3. If each row is 1/3, And we're going to circle 2 rows because we want 2/3 of the stamps. So 2 of the 3 rows shows 2/3 of 12. Then count the number of X's in the circle. There are blank X's circled. Well, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2 rows of 4, so there are 8 circled. Complete the sentence. 2/3 of 12 is 8, or 2/3 times 12 is 8. So there are 8 stamps with a picture of Queen Elizabeth II. Now remember, if you want to do this quickly, without drawing the array, 2/3 of 12, 12 divided by 3 is 4, times 2 is 8. Okay, let's look here. It says on your math board, use counters to find 4/6 of 12. Explain why the answer is the same as the answer you found when you found 2/3 of 12. Okay, well, we still want 12, but we want each row, we want there to be 6 rows. Okay, so we want each row is going to be 1/6 of 12. So if we have 6 rows, and there are 2, because 6 times 2 would be 12, so there's going to be, or 12 divided by 6 is 2. There's going to be 2 in each row. So now we have 6 rows of 2. Okay, if we find 4 of those, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are still 8 circled. Okay, so why is it the same when we have 2 different arrays? Well, it's the same because 4/6 is equal to 2/3. 4/6 and 2/3 are equal fractions. 4 divided by 2 is 2, 6 divided by 2 is 3. Or 2 times 2 is 4, 3 times 2 is 6. So these are equal fractions. So it doesn't matter how you arrange them, they're still the same number, the same fraction of the total. Okay, let's try this. Susanna has 16 stamps in her collection. 3/4 of the stamps are from the United States. How many of her stamps are from the United States and how many are not? Okay, so there's 16 total stamps. Each row is going to represent 1/4, so we want 4 rows of stamps. Now, if there are 4 rows and there are 16, we need a 4 by 4, because 4 times 4 is 16. So we're going to put 4 stamps in each row. So we have 4 rows of 4. Now we want to circle 3 rows of the 4. And that's how many are from the United States. So 3 times 4, 1, 2, 3, is 12. So 12 of Susanna's stamps are from the United States. And if there are 16 total stamps, 12 from the United States, the difference would give us how many stamps are not. So 4 stamps are not from the United States. So 3/4 of 16 is 12. Okay, that means 1/4 of 16 is 4. Okay, 1/4 of 16. 16 divided by 4 is 4, times 1 is 4. 3/4 of 16. 16 divided by 4 is 4, times 3 is 12. Okay, page 423. They already have our model drawn, but we're going to complete it to solve. We want to find 7/8 of 16, or 7/8 times 16. How many rows of counters are there? There are, remember, we're in 8, so there should be 8 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so there are 8 rows. How many are in each row? There's 2, because 8 times 2, or an 8 by 2 array, equals 16. Circle blank rows to solve the problem. Well, we want to find, each row is 1/8, so we want to find 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so we circled 7 rows. How many counters are circled? Well, if there's 7 times 2 in each row, that's 14. So there are 14 circled. So 7/8 of 16 equals 14. Or 7/8 times 16 equals 14. 7/8 of 16 equals 16 divided by 8 is 2 times 7 is 14. 2 times 7 is 14. All right, 2/3 of 18. I'm going to do this one without drawing the array. 2/3 of 18. Sorry. 2/3 of 18. 18 divided by 3 is 6. 6 times 2 is 12. So 2/3 of 18 is 12. Now, if you do this the long way, remember, put your whole number over 1, makes it a fraction. 2 times 18 is 36. 3 times 1 is 3. 36 divided by 3. 3 will go into 3 once. Multiply, divide, multiply. 1 times 3 is 3. Subtract, bring down. 6 divided by 3 is 2. Multiply, subtract. There's nothing to bring down, so it's 12. 36 divided by 3 is 12. All right. Your assignment for this week is, or for today, or for this week, is page 423. You're going to do numbers 3, 5, and 7. Then you're going to turn to page 424 and do numbers 9, 10, and 11. You're going to have to use this chart or table. Page 425, you're going to do numbers 2, 4, 6, and 8. And page 426, you're going to do the lesson check, which is all 6 problems. So that's a total of 16 problems for lesson 7.1. If you have any problems or have any questions, just let me know.